Hello and welcome to Retrocognition, where we look at some of the best and worst in sci-fi and fantasy. I'm your host, the Retcog. There's really nothing that can be said about Doctor Who that probably hasn't already been said. First airing in 1963 and running until 1989, it has the distinction of being the longest-running science fiction series in television history. It's also gained a newfound popularity with its relaunch in 2005. One of the most recognized elements of the show are the Daleks, hideous creatures inside armored machines who desire nothing more than total conquest of the universe. Since their first appearance, they've become one of the most popular and iconic villains of the genre. And in honor of the show's 50th anniversary, I thought I'd take a look at something that came about as a result of their popularity after first appearing on British TV in 1963. This is Doctor Who and the Daleks. Released in 1965, Doctor Who and the Daleks is a retelling of the original story from the television series, where the Doctor and his companions arrive on the planet Skaro and encounter the Daleks for the first time, and stars Peter Cushing as the Doctor. Yes, that Peter Cushing. So let's take a look at Doctor Who and the Daleks. We start things off with wait a minute, that's not the Doctor Who theme. This is the Doctor Who theme. Okay, let me see. Alright. Damn. Must be deadlocked. Now let's just move on. Behold the thrilling excitement of reading!
Most exciting.
Well, at least someone's entertained by this. This is the Doctor and his grandchildren, Susan and Barbara. This is Barbara's boyfriend, Ian. And that is essentially his defining trait. Makes you feel real good about this movie, doesn't it?
Let's give Harold a chance.
Ian?
Yes, my name's Ian, Doctor Who.
Whoa. What did he just call him?
Doctor Who.
Alright, now I know I'm legally required to nerd rage over this, but in the interest of fairness, I present you with this. Those were the end credits to the very first episode of Doctor Who, so I can't get too upset. Besides, this was from the early years of the character before they fully developed the whole alien from another planet with a mysterious background thing. So the Doctor and Susan take Ian out to see the TARDIS and...
My latest invention.
What was that?
What, a police box?
Oh god, whatever you do, don't blink.
Go on.
Yeah?
Anyway, the Doctor invites Ian to take a look inside and... I have to say, one of my favorite bits from the show is seeing people do this every time they see the TARDIS for the first time. I love it when this happens.
But it's so big in here, and yet it's so small from outside.
It's bigger on the inside.
Is it? I noticed.
Barbara joins them in the TARDIS when suddenly... Okay, show of hands, who saw that coming? Very good, very good. It's good to know everyone's paying attention. Let's move on. They find themselves on an alien world. While exploring, they find what appears to be a city.
Can you see anyone?
No.
Let's investigate.
Oh, yes, let's.
Alright, so you found yourselves on a seemingly uninhabited planet, and you want to go take a look at the strange city that shows no sign of activity or life. Why do you think this is a good idea? Who am I kidding? He wouldn't be the doctor if he didn't go.
I think we should get out of this place.
But look, Susan's just found a city. Wouldn't you like to explore it first?
Oh, well, they're expecting me at home. They'll be wondering where I am. I think we should go back.
Oh. Oh, well.
They go back to the ship and prepare to leave, only to run into a small problem.
What's the matter?
If this surprises you, then you clearly don't watch a lot of the TV show.
That's it. The fluid link. This end had been jarred out of position. Some of the fluid has run out.
Have you got a spare?
Oh, you don't need one. This just needs refilling with mercury. I have some in my laboratory.
Supposing there isn't any mercury on his planet.
We'll just have to try the city. It's about the only place we're likely to find any.
As they step out of the TARDIS, they find a small container with several vials in it.
It looks like some sort of drug.
They make their way to the city
was
and
a
split
steep
up to look for mercury. If only he could find a large enough object to slide over the switch. Not that it matters. This guy would probably get eaten alive by Octoroks. While Barbara is searching through the city, the corridors are sealed off, trapping her inside. The others go back in to look for her and come across what appears to be a large computer.
Measuring instruments. But to measure what, I wonder? This is some sort of Geiger counter. And it is past the danger point. The atmosphere is polluted with a very high level of fallout.
Then we must find Barbara and get back to TARDIS. Even if we do, we can't leave until we get some mercury.
Young man, I have to confess. There is nothing wrong with the fluid link. I just didn't want to leave until we had explored the city. Please forgive me.
Well, let's get out of here.
The Daleks, ladies and gentlemen. And do they know how to make an entrance or what?
You will move ahead of us and follow directions. This way.
Goodness, you
I'm so glad you're safe.
They're taken prisoner and are reunited with Barbara and realize that they're all suffering the effects of radiation poisoning.
We found a Geiger counter upstairs. This planet has a high level of radiation. Perhaps the result of some vast atomic war. All the time we were in the open, we were exposed to it.
The Daleks learn by eavesdropping on them that they may have an anti-radiation drug that they might be able to use so they can leave the city.
That box of glass files we found outside TARDIS. Remember?
They send Susan back to the TARDIS to retrieve the vials that were left there. While there, she meets another of the locals. This is Aladon, a Thal, one of the other races on this planet, and a heavy abuser of eyeshadow. He explains that he was the one who left the box with the vials outside the TARDIS.
drugs,
You could have left them a note telling them what it was, you know. Susan explains to Aladon that the others are being held by the Daleks. Uncertain of the Daleks' intentions, he gives her more of the drug and his cape before she heads back to the city. Susan gets the anti-radiation drug to the others and tells them about the
Thals
Thals.
gave you this cape, Susan.
Yes, his name's Aladon. He told me his people live far from here, that this year their crops were ruined, and they came here in search of food.
After listening to Susan tell the others about the Thals and how they came searching for food, the Daleks decide to set a trap for them by having Susan write a note telling the Thals the Daleks want to help them by giving them food. Realizing that they've been monitored the whole time, they disable the camera in their cell and hatch an escape plan.
Those armor suits they wear are actually machines to pick up their power through the metal of the floor. Now, if we could insulate those machines from their power source, they would be helpless.
I've got him!
Can you manage it? Put it over there.
Now what?
Now you get inside.
What for?
Pretend you're a Dalek. If we meet anyone, you're taking us to be questioned.
Yeah, but what if they find out?
You'll be no worse off than we are now. Come along, get inside, lad. Speed is essential. Hatch coming down.
Now, while this was in the early years of Doctor Who and the Daleks would keep coming back, the appearance of the creature inside went through a few revisions in the rare time that it was shown. And after the show's relaunch in 2005, we now have what can be considered the standard look of the Dalek on the inside. And you thought I was joking when I mentioned Octoroks. The plan goes off fairly well until...
What was that? An alarm bell. They know we've escaped.
We'll try to push it up from the inside.
Think I've been doing?
But try harder, lad.
Ooh, this is getting suspenseful. Oh. Jelly baby? They manage to warn the Thals that they're walking into a trap, but... The rest of the Thals get away, with the Doctor and the others escaping along with them, where they then regroup at the TARDIS. They get ready to leave and... You know, I can't help but think we're forgetting something here. Something important.
Fluid link.
Oh yeah, that piece of the ship you need for it to work. The one you took with you when you pretended it was broken so you could stay and explore the city. So they decide to convince the Thals to fight the Daleks so they can get the fluid link back.
Our people. But we do not wish to kill others. And I do not want any of my people to be killed.
It occurs to me that the Daleks still have the Thals' anti-radiation drug. I'm sure they've done some tests with it. Let's see how that's going.
Out of control! Help me! Help me! Out of control!
Ooh, yeah, that could have gone better. Well, I guess they can try something else.
We will destroy the Thals without leaving the city. We will explode another neutron bomb and increase radiation throughout the planet to a point where even the drug of the Thals will not be able to protect them from it.
That seemed like a disproportionate response. This drug didn't work. Nuke 'em all!
We
The
will
Doctor
not
tries to convince
fight.
Aladon to fight, but he continues to refuse. So he tries a different approach.
Young man, do you know why the Daleks held us as prisoners? They wanted to experiment on us. Perhaps if we gave them one of your people instead, they might return the piece of equipment they took from me. Take her to the Daleks.
Who's this? thought you were our friends.
You see, you will fight for something.
That seems to be a bit much. But it worked, I guess. So they devise a plan to sneak into the city undetected.
It's by rock walls. The fourth side is protected by mountains and a deadly swamp.
Deadly?
5 of us went looking for food there one day. Only my brother and I came back.
What happened to the others?
We found them. What was left of them.
The swamp is alive with mutations. It's a perfect defense for the city.
If we could get through that way, we could take the Daleks by surprise.
It will be too dangerous for all of us. We will send a small party that way, led by our brave friend.
You're putting him in charge? So what you're saying is that you want to get everyone killed.
Just a
So
minute.
Ian,
All right,
Barbara, and
Fred.
3 of the Thals make their way into the deadly swamp.
Oh, I could do with a wash.
No, dangerous mutations in the swamp, remember?
Hey! Hey! I saw a great big thing in the water.
What was it?
I don't know. I didn't wait to find out.
Let's get
However,
their
they
water.
come across a set of pipes and
Pipes must
conclude
go
that's how the
straight through the
Daleks get their
mountain.
water. And
Perhaps into
figure
the
that
city
they
of the
can follow them
Daleks.
through the mountain and into the
If
city.
we could find that
Out
way,
for the
we...
water bags. We'll need them. I'll catch you up.
Wait, didn't you hear when Ian said he saw something in the water? Okay, fine. Go ahead. Just don't expect any sympathy from me when something bad happens.
Stay with her. You, come with me.
What? Oh, oh no, not that guy. They follow the pipes that lead to the mountain behind the city and make their way up and into some caves. Meanwhile, back at the camp,
Madam! Pardon me, please. May I borrow that just for a moment? Thank you so much. Young man, do you have any more of these mirrors?
Why, yes.
Get them, please. Collect as many as you can.
Why?
They may be our way of getting into the city.
back in the caves, Ian, Barbara, and the others run into a small problem.
Ooh.
While they deal with that unnecessary problem, the Doctor, Susan, and the rest of the Thals use the mirrors to try and confuse the
Shortwave
sensors
light
outside the
radiations.
city.
That should confuse their detectors.
Okay, so that part of the plan appears to be working. What's phase 2? Ah, run away in fear as the Daleks come out to kill everyone. Always a solid plan. The others manage to make it through the caves and find the back way into the city.
Stay where you are. You cannot get away.
They're chased through the corridors when suddenly,
You are trapped.
let's see that again. They rejoin with the rest of the Thals and head for the main control room. Looks like it's time for the final confrontation with one of the most famous villains in science fiction. Let's see how this goes.
Look behind you!
I gotta say, I'm not impressed. The Doctor tells Ian to stop the countdown on the bomb and... The explosion causes all the Daleks to shut down, effectively killing them.
Barbara.
They're all dead.
Yes.
Why does that seem so familiar?
Goodbye.
You'll look pretty funny wearing that in London.
Aye.
So the Doctor and his companions say goodbye to the Thals with just one last thing before the credits roll.
You may fire when ready.
What? Don't look at me like that. Admit it, you were thinking the exact same thing during this whole movie. Besides, go watch Remembrance of the Daleks with 7th Doctor Sylvester McCoy and you'll find out I'm not too far off the mark with this. That ends a pretty good episode of the classic series. Anyway, that was Doctor Who and the Daleks. Final thoughts? Overall, it's not a bad movie. The part about the Doctor being human is easily excused since at the time there wasn't much known about just where the Doctor came from. It was certainly made to cash in on something that became incredibly popular. And I have to say, Peter Cushing does a good job as the Doctor and is fairly entertaining in the role. If you're like me and are a longtime Doctor Who fan, it's worth taking a look at. If you've never seen the classic series or are completely new to the show and haven't seen it, new or classic, I don't recommend using this as a starting point. Just check out the show itself. In fact, the episodes that this movie is based on are available on home video, and I definitely recommend taking a look at that since it also gives you a chance to see the original actor, William Hartnell, in action. So I hope you enjoyed this alternate take on one of the most enduring and long-lasting characters in science fiction and television history. And I hope I've piqued your curiosity about this strange and mysterious alien who travels through time and space, this madman with a blue box. So that's all for this edition of Retrocognition. That's weird.
You are an enemy of the Daleks. You will be exterminated.
Hold that thought. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Ah, here we go. Catch.
Mother was right. I should have gone to culinary school.
As I was saying, that's all for this edition of Retrocognition. I'm your host, the Retcog. Thanks for watching.